Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today is Wednesday and I'll be doing an iris flower. My first ever painting video was an iris flower painting. It was not really a tutorial, but that was my very first time to show on video how I do my painting, although that was on time lapse. But that was great because that really kick-started everything that I have on my YouTube channel. So today I'll be doing another iris painting, and I'll be linking in the description box below my other iris painting tutorials so that you can choose from among them. So the colors that we'll be using for today's tutorial are the colors that you see on my right side. So we have Cerulean Blue, Titanium White, Burnt Sienna, Sap Green, Lemon Yellow, or Mead Yellow, or Cadmium Yellow, Black, and a little bit of Magenta. The reason why I have red or Magenta is because I don't have an ultramarine. If you've got yourselves an ultramarine ready to use acrylic paint, you use that instead of mixing the colors. But we will be doing a blue iris flower with some white petals. So I'm just excited because I love painting flowers, and I think it's one of my go-tos when it comes to paintings. When I have nothing to paint, I paint flowers, or when I feel like I just want to paint for no reason whatsoever, I just want to paint. I choose flowers and sometimes seascapes, but that would be for another video. That would be for another feeling, for another, like I want to paint some seascapes. Sometimes I feel like seascapes, but I feel like I've been doing a lot of seascapes that sometimes it gets a little bit boring. So today I chose a flower, and it's interesting because what I love about iris paintings or iris flowers is that they are very not symmetrical at all. They may look like they are symmetrical, but they are not really because, again, I really don't like too symmetrical subjects. So yeah, let's begin now. So I'm just so excited for the sketch. I'll be using, let's just use, I don't know, blue because we will be painting a blue iris flower. So I really haven't prepared the colors simply because I just want to enjoy the moment. I just want to enjoy the moment. Okay, like that. So actually that wasn't red. As I told you, I'll be using a little bit of magenta, but the actual color that is written here on my acrylic paint is Alizarin crimson. Okay, so that's the exact color. If you would like to get the exact color for the mixture of ultramarine, and I don't know if you will believe me, I don't know if the mixture of cerulean blue and this alizarin crimson will result in ultramarine. All I know is that I don't want a cerulean blue iris flower, so it will be a blue color almost on the violet side of things. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just preparing the colors while I'm chatting to you, but you can fast forward this one if you don't want to chat with me. I'm gonna get my burnt sienna. Actually, the green color and the burnt sienna will only be used for backgrounding. They won't be used for the flower, maybe to tone the colors down, but basically we won't be using that color too much on the flower itself. So we will be using purple and whites, okay, for the flower. All right, so let's begin now. I'm just gonna wet my brush, and I'm gonna use, again, as I told you, blue, just to sketch where things are gonna go. So we will be occupying a lot of this space, and if I commit a mistake, I can always make the necessary correction because this is just paint. So just enjoy. don't stress so much because, as I told you, iris flowers are quite not symmetrical. They are just free flowing flowers. And I'm not really sure if I'm doing the proportion correctly. If I make a mistake, it's okay. I'm just gonna correct it as I go. Again, there will be some what do you call this? There will be some adjustments, okay, because sometimes I feel like the flower is just too small, and my canvas, I really don't do the grid type of sketching like people do squares on their um, canvas or paper. I don't do that. Because there's no, I don't think I am developing my painting skills by doing that. I don't know why. I mean, I feel like the grid, even if you tell me that they were done by the masters, I still don't believe that that method would help me improve. Okay, the grid method is just not for me, and I don't think I will ever use that method just to make things easy for me. Some people, I heard that they find it harder, in fact, when they do the grid method. That's why I just don't do it. So basically, this is the shape of the iris flower. It's kind of nice already. And yeah, so, okay. Now I'm going to mix my blue with this magenta color. Okay. So it will be a deep blue type of blue. And I'm just going to use this right here. Actually, it should be a little more violet, but I'm just going to start with this color as an underpainting. I can always change my magenta color. I mean, I can always change my flower color. Depends on me, right? So this will be the color that I'll be sticking to, because I said ultramarine, but I don't have that. So I'm just going to stick to the color mixture that I have here that I created. Okay. I'm just going to use that dark, deep um, blue color over here. It's actually nice. I kind of like this color. Okay, we want to make the edges of the iris flower a little bit uh, like uneven. Okay, now I'm going to get my blue without mixing it with the dark color, and I'm just going to use that to lighten the edges. Again, make your edges a little bit uneven. Okay, like this. And here as well. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit of white because it's too dark. Okay, and I'm gonna push inwards towards the dark blue. Okay, like that. And I'm just gonna do the same thing right here. Okay, so again, blue, magenta. This is cerulean blue, okay, plus magenta. So we get that deep blue color. And we're just gonna do the same thing right here. Okay. Just color it. I kind of like this because this is my own color of my iris flower. The original plan was to have a more of a violet color or more ultramarine, but I don't have that color, so I just made use of whatever it is that I have right here on hand. I kind of like it. So I'm gonna use again my blue plus white, and I'm just gonna color again right here on the edges. Okay, and let's go back to this area because it was still a little bit wet earlier, so I was having a hard time coloring it with lighter color. Okay, and I'm lightly applying some light colors along the edges. And lightly as well in the middle section. You can wet your brush so that it can glide quite smoothly on the canvas paper or on the material that you're painting on. Okay, like that. Again, right on the edges, just lighten it a bit. Okay, like that. And then we're going to color this upper petal right here that you see. And I'll be using the same blue color that we've been using. However, I'm going to add more white and maybe a tiny bit of black. Just a tiny bit just to tone the color down. And I'm going to use this color right here. And you can actually paint over the sketch lines that you see. Again, we kind of want to paint over already. Paint over the sketch lines so that we don't see that anymore. Okay, like that. I'll be using a little darker version of this color. Maybe I'm going to add a tiny bit of magenta to that. Like this, maybe darker version. Make sure that the back petals are darker in appearance. Okay, like this. We are just we are just in the very preliminary stage. Okay, so if it's not yet making sense to you, don't worry, it's okay because every painting has that stage where it doesn't make sense. So I'm just gonna use my darker blue color again. And I'm gonna add a little bit of black just to emphasize that it's more dark. And I'm just gonna use that color right here under that. And then I'm gonna apply a little bit of that dark color to add some folds on the petals. And by doing this, we add some suggestion of dimension. Just soften it, don't make it too harsh. The lines should not be too harsh. Soften it a bit. Okay. Like that. Now I'm gonna get my sap green. Without washing my brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and gonna get my burnt sienna. Okay. Without washing my brush, I'm just gonna go and create the cup. I call it the cup. It's not the cup, definitely. It's like that part of the flower that holds the flower or the petals together. Sorry, guys. Let me know what that is. There should be a scientific term for that. This part, like the cup. Okay. Hmm. Like that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and color it with this color as the underpainting. It's not the actual color. All right, like that. And it goes, I'm gonna get my green and it's gonna go down here. Right, like that. Okay, this is looking good actually. I think I'm gonna change my brush. By the way, I haven't prepared my yellow. So I'm gonna get my lemon yellow or medium yellow. And without washing my brush, I'm just gonna dab onto my yellow and start dabbing it on this part, while the paint is still wet. Okay, just like this, starting to make some highlights and detailing. I'm gonna get my white again without washing my brush. And of course, finger painting. I'm gonna make some line right here, like that. And I'm just gonna make some, I'm gonna push it down. Right, like this. And I'm gonna get my yellow. And my greens. And my white right here. Okay, making it just look more natural, all right? I'm gonna get my black. Let's create some more depth right here. Okay, a little bit of depth going on. And I'm just gonna draw a line separating that part. All right, just like that. Okay. And don't worry about those paints that went outside the sketch lines. It's okay because we will be doing some backgrounding later and that you won't see those excess paints, okay, later. It will be clean later. So I'm gonna get my brown plus white. Oops, my blue is mixing. It's fine. However, we don't want too much blue on this part. Okay. Right, like that. Okay, now I'm gonna get my pure white. I think I'm gonna use another brush just to be on the safe side that I won't be touching on some other colors except white. So I'm gonna use my pure white and I'm gonna start creating some patterns on the iris, especially right here. You can wet your brush a bit so that you can glide your brush smoothly on the canvas. But we're just doing some folds. So we're just marking where the lights are gonna go. And I'm just using white, nothing special. But I'm marking where the folds are gonna go. You will see lots and lots of folds here. Okay, like that. And using white, we can go along the edges. Okay, like that. Okay, like that. Using some white, we're going to create some markings right here and right here. So, okay. So I'm thinking we should do the background so that, we let the paints dry. Well, while waiting, we can make use of that time to do the background already. So for the background, I'm going to mix my black and green and start backgrounding it. So just alternately use black and yellow, and you can use a little bit of white just to make some bright portions. But basically, it's dark because we want to emphasize the flower here. And make sure that you soften the backgrounding. Okay. And when you do the background, take that also as an opportunity for you to clean your your painting, meaning you go around the edges and paint over those areas that were painted over, or that were outside the line, or that were outside the sketch lines, because we want to make sure that it doesn't look messy. So by cleaning it, you literally remove the mess from the painting. Just go around the edges. You can always reshape it, even if you've done the background. Because it's just acrylic, you can definitely paint over it. Nothing to worry if you make a mistake. So right here, I'm going to use more white. So more on the gray side of things right here. Maybe a little bit of green. Mixture of everything. Well, I really didn't plan to do the background first before the flower, simply because the flower occupies a lot of space. So if I do the background first, it will be a waste of time. And I just don't want that. I just want to use my waiting time for the paint to dry to do the background. So that we don't waste time there. But if there is one negative thing about, doing the background, is just going around the edges of this flower that has a lot of tight spaces, like this area that I'm painting on, or that I'm working on. There are tight spaces that um, it's very hard to reach, without touching on the painting or the subject. So if you choose to background in at first, there's nothing wrong with that. I am just concerned about the wastage of paints. Okay, let me see. Okay, great. I love this one. I love this one very much. I'm gonna go back to the background later. Okay, but for now, we already have a preview or an overview of how things are gonna look like when we finish this painting, because we already have the background. Already underpainted the flower. So let's go back to detailing the flower. So I'm gonna get a smaller brush. I'll be getting my, what is my brush? I think I'm gonna get size 6 angle brush. Now I'm gonna get my white. Go back to pure white, and let's go back to the petals. I'm gonna create some more folds. Okay, actually, I'm accidentally touching on my yellow, but it's okay. You can see some sort of yellowness right here, but just gonna uh, make my way through it. Just paint over it. If you don't like it, or if you grab a color that you don't intend to use, it's okay. Just paint over that. It's okay. It happens. Just refine. This is the moment where when you refine, your painting. And I'm gonna go around. And please make the edges a little uneven or very what do you call this, like randomly curvy. Some will be curvy, some won't be that curvy, so that your painting looks a little more natural. Okay, now I'm gonna dab onto my blue. Remember the blue and the magenta mixture. This time I'll be adding a little more water, so that I can glide it smoothly on this tight spaces. Okay. So doing some depth and dimension. Just go in between the folds. Okay, like that. Right here. Right. Like that. Now I'm gonna slightly outline some areas to separate it from the back petals. You want to outline it so that it doesn't look like it was pasted on uh, in front of the back petals, if that makes sense. So by outlining it, it will make the petals look more separate from the back petals. And now I'm gonna get my magenta and I'm gonna create some lines. like that. These are very subtle detailing. And then some blue. And okay, like that. So right here. Let me see. I don't like it. But I need to add more details. So I'm going to use my magenta to color the bottom part. So let's darken this area. Let's darken it. Also this. Add some sort of magenta. Let's add some magenta colors. Excuse me. Now these magenta colors are very subtle, that they don't really matter that much, but they should be there. Sorry, I think someone remembered me. It's why I keep on coughing. Okay, let's darken this part. I'm gonna switch to size 2 brush. Let's create some more details along the edges of the petals. So using titanium white, pure white, just go along the edges. Okay, let's darken once more. Suddenly, I keep on coughing. I really feel like someone remembered me. I don't know, do you believe in that? I believe in that. So again, I'm just gonna darken this area. Mm. This area as well. Okay. Okay, so now let's lighten this part. It should appear a little bit on the blurry side. Okay, and then outline the folds so that you separate them from the back petals. Okay, I'm just gonna darken this part because it's not really being hit by the light. It's, the location is quite like not really being open to the source of light, not being directly hit by the light. Okay, so I'm gonna use my black just to separate the shape of it from the background. Because again, we don't want to lose the shape of it, and just slightly outline it. By the way, I apologize if I keep on coughing. I mean, if I was coughing a lot earlier, I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna get my yellow again and touch on this area again. Okay, like that. Slightly glazing it in effect. I'm gonna get my green. Sap Green. So, like that. And my brown, but I'm gonna add tiny bit of black to that. So it's like this. And then green and black plus white right here. Okay, like that. I'm gonna go again for a smaller brush because I forgot to apply some dark separation lines just to create the illusion of, oops, that's too dark. The illusion of folds. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm just gonna darken this area. You know, the illusion of folds. It is manipulation, you know, of the colors by applying dark and light colors. Um, you create the illusion of dimension. I'm gonna apply some light blue colors here. I'm getting a black color. I don't know why. Okay, again, just along the edges. Again, let's darken the back petals because we don't want it to be brighter than the front petals. Okay, like that. Let me check. Okay, I like this one. And of course, some white. Okay. Now using some blue colors, I'm gonna glaze over the flower. Using some blue, just to make sure that everything is still blue. Everything is connected, okay? So slightly glaze, slightly touch on the petals, making the petals look more one than separate items, okay? So I'm just gonna glaze it using blue, adding more water so that it's more transparent, translucent in effect. I'm gonna slightly touch on this area just to give it that oneness. You don't want to lose the blue color of this flower by doing a lot of highlights. So we're glazing it. I'm going to get my magenta as well, and I'm going to glaze on certain areas slightly. You can see that, the magenta effect. Magenta or this, what is the color that I mentioned earlier? Um, Alizarin crimson is more on the translucent side. So even if you use it over the painting that you already did, it will not really paint over it. okay, because it will only create that um, thin, like a layer, thin layer of that color over it. It's not covering it, it's more of um, glazing it, or like a lace, okay? I'm gonna apply that little magenta color right here near the center, and also here, and a little bit of that magenta color over here on the back petals. Okay, I'm gonna use my white just to overemphasize some light on the folds. Okay, I like that. Let me check. I kind of like this one. Don't forget this part, slightly touching it. All right, now I'm gonna use this white to do some gray colors. I'm gonna mix my black and white and gray and yellow. And we're going to lighten some areas because I feel like some areas were too dark in the background. So for me to easily apply the paint, I'm just gonna use my fingers because I just love finger painting. So it's like creating a background that is more on the abstract side of things, but still suggestive of the natural setting for a flower, which is a garden or nature, anything like that, a forest or something. So we will not deviate from that. Even if it's abstract-ish, we will not deviate from the natural setting of a flower. I'm gonna use tiny bit of white to create some light effects. Tiny light effects. Oops, I accidentally again. I'm gonna get my yellow just to give it another color. Let me see. Let me fix this area. I feel like it's weird. I really like this one. I like this one, and I'm really happy about this one. Okay. I'm gonna get my white again, just to highlight the edges of those areas that I think I forgot to highlight. Okay. All right. Wow. I'm gonna get my black. I'm gonna create a little bit of space or a hole, or yeah. These are just tiny details. Okay. We want to make sure that it looks natural. Okay, so around that hole, I'm gonna get my white and I'm gonna create some highlight like that. Because flowers sometimes are being eaten by insects. Oh, like a little bit of like natural image right there. Some more detailing right here. Like that. I'm gonna get my black. Mm. I think this is really, really lovely. What do you think? After all the coughing and all that. Okay. I really don't like this one. Okay, so I'm gonna sign this now. I think this is done. This is done. I love it. Oh, by the way, even if it's done, let me just add a little bit of something because I already painted or glazed this area. So the lines that we created earlier got painted over as well. So I'm just gonna redo it. If you weren't able to paint over that, it's fine. Then good for you. But me, since I kept on glazing earlier, I was able to cover it already. The lines were gone. Okay. Okay, and using white. I'm just gonna sign this now. And I'm gonna sign. Okay, I'm gonna use more pointy brush. Not that brush because it's too thick. So I'm gonna use a pointy brush. And I'm gonna sign right here. Okay, so this is finished. So I hope you enjoyed this one and I hope you paint along with me. If you really like this video, paint along with me and tell me in the comment section below how you find this painting. And see you in my next one, guys. Have a great day. Mm, 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 mm. Love you.